welcome to this week's Field Note Friday. I'm a little bit late, but no pressure on me, so there you go. For those of you who are new here, this is where I share something that has piqued my interest, that has come up for me in my conversations and dialogues with my horses, or within the environment, or even with me, like within what's going on here in myself. So it's not a training, it's not a lecture, it's pretty messy, and I usually try and make it for 11 o'clock on a Friday, but sometimes, like today, I'm a bit late. I like to use this space for reflection, and I think it's really important. It's part of the learning principles that I like to use, that circular learning. So observation, response or action, and then reflection, and then back to observation. It allows time for us to have better understanding of the conversations that we're having with our horses. It makes it a quiet space, and I think those small moments that we allow ourselves to see, have some of the best insight and learning that we can absorb and take on and reshare with our horses, if you like. If we're slow, we can notice them, and it's important. So this week I want to share something that happened with one of my mares, and it was really tiny, it was really small, barely anything at all really, but it was something on the surface that shifted, and when it shifted everything. I just stepped into their area with no pressure, no agenda. I was just moving through the day like we all do, getting on with what we needed to get on with. But something in me changed. The change of pace was inside, and it was really subtle. And she gave a flicker of attention in my direction. Just a shift of tone. And if I had not been going slow, if I'd not been observant, I would have missed it, but I felt it. And in that moment, so did she. Now, she didn't obviously bolt, she didn't spook, she didn't even move away, but her breath caught and her eyes sharpened, and her back, it held tension for a moment. And it would have been really easy to miss, but luckily I didn't, and I felt it too in my own body. And in that quiet shift between presence and push, that moment, that tension, that is the kind of thing that we are often taught to override. Those moments that get pushed through, like, don't be so sensitive, she's just being moody, you're imagining it. Whether it's with the horse or with ourselves, we are taught to override, to push through, to get on with whatever it is that we're thinking of doing, our agenda in that moment. But here's the thing, I wasn't imagining it, and neither was she. We were both picking up something very real, very physical, beneath the words, beneath the thought in that moment. And here's the geeky bit, because I like to know how something works even when I can already feel it. There is I always say, and I will repeat myself, and I have no apologies for that there is mystery in science and science in mystery. And when we feel something, there is some science behind it. Our bodies, yours, mine, our horses, are covered in things called mechanoreceptors. They live in the skin, in the fascia, in the joints, and their whole job is to sense touch, pressure, vibration, subtle shifts in movement or breath. And some of them even respond to the emotional tone, because emotions have an effect on our bodies. And here's the powerful part. They respond before our conscious brain can name what's happening. So when something just doesn't feel right, or when you feel your horse respond before you've even moved, that's not just intuition. That's our nervous system reading the moment. Your body knows. Your horse's body knows. And that's why I say what you feel is the science. And the science is part of what you feel. Because these aren't two separate worlds. Intuition and science, they're one and the same. To a degree. There's obviously parts of it on each end of the scale which is yet to be explained, and that's a good thing because that keeps us motivated, it keeps us thinking, it keeps us reaching. But science can give us a language to what many of us have already known. And that knowing, that felt sense, is often the most trustworthy guide that we have. So if you've ever been told you're too sensitive, too emotional, too unstructured, and yes, those words, I've heard those words many times. Maybe it's time to flip that narrative, to reframe it, because sensitivity is a skill. Awareness is a strength. And presence, well, presence is the core of communication, especially with our horses. When we understand the nervous system, ours and theirs, have a better understanding of our nervous system. It's not to say we have to have a scientific degree knowledge of it, but some awareness of our and their nervous system. Structure then doesn't feel like control anymore. It starts to feel like clarity, like safety, like choice. So what I would really love for you to take into your weekend, obviously, if you'd like, is to notice the soft things, the small signs, the pauses and soft tones in our horse's body and in our own. That moment our horses exhale when we soften. The shift when you get distracted. The breath that catches when you tighten. Those things don't always need fixing, but they do need listening. They need you to connect with those. So here's a little gentle prompt if you want to reflect or share. What did you feel this week that you couldn't explain but you knew mattered? If something comes up to you, I'd love to hear it. You can drop it in the comments here or share a post with us if you feel right. If you want to share a little bit more information, a little bit more content. I would love to read it. I would love for the group to be able to connect with it. So, thank you for being here, as always, and thanks for noticing the quiet things. Your horses will thank you. And I will see you next week for another field note. So, take care for now, and have a wonderful weekend noticing those little things. Goodbye for now. Take care.